Hello, my friend. If you're listening right now, awake in the quiet of the late night welcome. This moment is already enough. Maybe you've been trying to go to sleep, but your mind keeps replaying the day. Work stress, money worries, family thoughts. Maybe you're dealing with insomnia, or that familiar feeling of, I can't sleep even though I'm exhausted. If that's happening, nothing is wrong with you. So many people lie awake at night like this, searching for sleep, hoping for deep sleep, wondering how to rest when the body is tired, but the mind won't slow down. This isn't a failure. It's a nervous system that's been carrying too much for too long. Tonight isn't about fixing yourself. It's a gentle sleep meditation inspired by quiet Buddha wisdom, mindfulness, and the power of silence. Not effort, not forcing. Just a soft space where the body remembers how to rest on its own. In a few moments, you may notice the pressure ease a little. Thoughts can begin to loosen. Breathing can happen without help. For now, there's nothing to figure out. You don't have to know how to fall asleep fast or how to sleep fast. Just let the weight of the day rest here and allow yourself to stop holding everything up. You're here now, and that matters. Right where you are in this quiet night, there's nothing you have to prove, nothing you have to fix. If the room feels dim, if the world outside has slowed, let that be exactly enough. This is a place where tired minds are welcome, where sleep meditation begins simply by being together. You might be lying in bed, staring into the dark, listening for any sound that tells you you're not alone. Maybe the day felt heavy. Work pressures that followed you home, thoughts about money or health or family that didn't know when to stop. If insomnia has been visiting you, or that familiar sense of I can't sleep even when I want to, it can feel isolating. And yet, in this moment, you're not doing this alone. I'm right here with you, keeping watch while your body finds its own way toward deep sleep. Notice the space around you for a moment. The bed supporting you, the air resting on your skin. If you want, you can imagine the room wrapped in a soft, protective quiet, like the world has gently stepped back to give you space. There's nothing expected of you tonight. No performance, no effort. Just this calm container holding you exactly as you are. Take one easy breath in and let it leave when it's ready. If it feels right, we can begin with something very simple. A gentle sleep talk down nothing complicated. You can try letting your attention drift through your body, not to change anything, just to notice. Starting at the top of your head, there might be a sense of warmth or heaviness, or maybe nothing at all. That's fine. Let your awareness float down to your face, the muscles around your eyes, your jaw. They don't have to relax. They're already allowed to rest. Moving down into your shoulders, your arms, your hands resting wherever they are. This is a quiet meditation for sleep. One that doesn't ask for focus, only permission. Another gentle breath and a small pause. Sometimes the safest feeling comes from knowing what's happening next. And sometimes it comes from knowing nothing is required next. In a few moments, there will be less thinking, not because you made it happen, but because the body remembers how to soften when it feels safe. You might already notice a subtle shift, a little more space between thoughts, a little less urgency. Let that unfold in its own time. Breathe and rest. There's something quietly powerful about this moment, something often overlooked in busy lives, the power of silence. Silence isn't empty. It's a kind of presence, a signal to the nervous system that it can stand down, that vigilance isn't required right now. In silence, nothing is demanded of you. No decisions, no explanations, just being held. In a moment, there will be a stretch of quiet, 10, maybe 15 seconds, where nothing needs to happen at all. You can simply listen to the stillness or let it wash over you like a warm blanket. And when sound returns, notice how your body receives it, a little softer now, a little less alert. This is how rest begins. If you're open to it, there's another gentle layer. We can add something often called gentle sleep hypnosis. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's simply a way of using words and imagery to invite deeper relaxation, like listening to a story when you were younger and drifting off halfway through. You can imagine your body becoming pleasantly heavy, as if gravity has increased just a touch in the most comforting way. The bed holds more of your weight. Thoughts can slow stretch out and fade at the edges. This kind of hypnosis to fall asleep isn't about control. It's about letting go of control. A slow breath and a quiet release. You might picture yourself floating or sinking, or simply staying right where you are while everything else settles. There's no right image. The mind can choose one or none at all. In a little while, the idea of time itself can soften. Minutes lose their edges. The night feels less long, more gentle. Another breath and ease. Some people like a small anchor when drifting towards sleep, something simple and reassuring. If you want, you can try this on your next exhale. Imagine the body becoming just 1% heavier. Nothing dramatic, just enough to feel supported. On the next exhale, another 1%. This can continue for a few breaths or stop whenever it feels complete. Sometimes this is described as fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly, not as a promise, but as a reminder that sleep can arrive sooner than expected when effort steps aside. Soft breath in and out. As the words grow fewer, notice how the spaces between them grow wider. This widening is intentional. It gives your system room to drop, to settle, to move naturally toward deep sleep. Nothing else is planned right now. No conclusion waiting. Just a gentle fading, like lights dimming one by one. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to stop holding the day together. Sleep doesn't require permission, and it doesn't require understanding. It comes when the body feels safe enough, quiet enough, supported enough. And right now, that safety is here. Breathing, silence, softness. Let the words thin out. Let the night carry you. Let everything loosen its grip. And if sleep arrives, you can drift with it easily, quietly into deep sleep, while your mind is still awake. If you're still awake right now, with thoughts quietly circling, there's a gentle reason for that. Not a problem, not a flaw, just a mind that hasn't realized the day is over yet. During the day, your mind had a job. It watched the clock. It solved problems. It kept things moving at work, at home, with money, health, family responsibilities that didn't pause just because you were tired. And now, in the quiet of the night, when the world finally slows, the mind doesn't know where to go. So it keeps talking, replaying conversations, planning tomorrow, worrying about things that feel bigger after dark. That's why can't sleep moments often arrive right here in the late hours when everything else has gone quiet. Nothing is wrong with you. This is simply what a protective mind does when it's been carrying too much. It stays alert even when the body is ready for sleep, even when you long for deep sleep and rest. Understanding that alone can soften something. There's no enemy here, just a tired system that hasn't been told it's safe yet. You might notice that the more you want sleep, the louder the thoughts become. That's not a failure. It's the mind trying to help, just a little too late. And tonight, there's no reason to argue with it. There's another way in, a quieter way, one that begins by letting the mind feel seen instead of silenced. If you want, we can start with something very simple, a soft sleep meditation that doesn't ask for focus. Just notice the weight of your body, where it meets the bed, the back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, your legs. You don't have to relax them. You can simply notice how they're already being held. This gentle body scan isn't about changing anything. It's about reminding the nervous system that it's supported. Slow breath in and out. Sometimes awareness alone begins to slow the current, and sometimes it doesn't. Both are okay. Sleep doesn't arrive on command. It arrives when effort steps aside. The mind often stays awake because it thinks silence is dangerous. During the day, silence meant something might be wrong. A missed call, an unanswered email, an unresolved issue. But here in the night, silence has a different role. It becomes a signal of safety, a soft message that says nothing is required right now. There's a quiet strength in the power of silence. Not the kind that feels empty, but the kind that feels held. In silence, the mind slowly realizes it can rest too. In a moment, there will be a short stretch where I don't say anything at all. 10, maybe 15 seconds. Nothing to listen for, nothing to do. You can let the silence sit with you the way a calm presence sits beside a tired friend. When words return, notice if something has shifted even slightly. A tiny drop in intensity, a little more space between thoughts. That's enough. That's how the doorway opens. If you're open to it, there's another gentle layer we can add often called gentle sleep hypnosis. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's simply deep relaxation, guided by imagery and tone, like listening to a story, so soothing that the details don't matter anymore. You can imagine your thoughts becoming slower, as if they're moving through warm water. Still there, but less sharp, less urgent. This kind of hypnosis to fall asleep doesn't control the mind. It reassures it. You might picture the thoughts lining up one by one and stepping aside, not disappearing, just waiting quietly. Your breathing can find its own rhythm. Your body can sink a little deeper into the mattress. Easy breath and a soft pause. Sometimes people wonder why the mind wakes them at the same hour each night. It's often because that's when everything finally feels quiet enough for unfinished feelings to surface. Stress that didn't have space during the day. Loneliness that stayed hidden behind noise. The night makes room for these things, and when they're met with gentleness instead of resistance, they don't have to shout as loudly. If you want, you can try one more small practice. Very light, very optional. On your next exhale, imagine the mind setting down one thought. Just one. It doesn't matter which. On the next exhale, imagine setting down another. This can happen slowly or just once. Some people describe this as a way to fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly. Not as a guarantee, but as a reminder that sleep can come sooner than expected when the grip loosens. Soft breath and ease. Notice how the explanations don't really matter anymore. The words are becoming less important than the spaces between them. That's intentional. As the mind understands why it's been awake, it no longer has to keep explaining itself. Understanding brings permission. Permission brings rest. You're allowed to stop figuring this out. The body already knows how to sleep. It's done it many times before. It remembers the path to deep sleep, even if the mind forgot for a while. Now the sentences can become simpler, slower, quieter. Breathing, softness, stillness. There's nothing to hold, nothing to solve. The night can carry what you don't want to carry anymore. Silence again, not empty, protective, wide enough for sleep to arrive on its own. Let the words fade. Let the thoughts drift. Let the body rest, deepening. The man who tried to fix his sleep. There was a man who came home every night already tired. Not the soft, ready-for-bed kind of tired, but the heavy kind that sits behind the eyes and tightens the chest. His days were full. Work that followed him home in emails. Bills that waited on the kitchen counter. A body that felt older at night than it did in the morning. When the house finally went quiet, when the lights were low and the world outside slowed down, he would lie in bed and think, now, I can finally sleep. And that was exactly when his mind refused. He tried everything people talk about when can't sleep becomes a regular part of life. Earlier bedtimes, later bedtimes, cutting caffeine, tracking hours, watching the clock. He even tried telling himself very calmly at first, and then less calmly that he really needed rest. But the harder he worked at it, the more insomnia pushed back. His mind stayed alert, scanning the dark, replaying conversations, jumping ahead to tomorrow, wondering why deep sleep felt so far away. One night, after another long stretch of staring at the ceiling, he noticed something small. His body was already tired. His eyelids were heavy. His breathing was slow. It wasn't his body that was awake. It was the effort, the trying, the fixing. That realization didn't solve anything right away, but it softened something. And that softness matters. If you want, you can let yourself rest with this story for a moment, without comparing, without deciding if it fits. You might notice your own body where it meets the bed, the mattress holding your back, the pillow supporting your head. This can be a very simple sleep meditation, nothing formal. Just noticing. No change required. A gentle breath in and out. The man kept trying to do sleep right because that's how he'd learned to handle everything else. Fix the problem. Optimize the system. Push a little harder. But sleep doesn't respond to that kind of attention. It responds to safety. And safety doesn't arrive through effort. It arrives when effort steps aside. One evening, instead of rehearsing another strategy, he stopped, not dramatically. He just stopped trying to fall asleep. He let the night be the night. He let his thoughts come and go without chasing them. He didn't try to calm his breathing or slow his heart. He simply lay there, listening to the faint hum of the house, the distant sound of traffic, the quiet proof that the world was still holding together without his supervision. If you want, you can try something similar right now, very lightly. A gentle body scan, just a few places. Notice your forehead, your eyes resting in their sockets, your jaw perhaps unclenching on its own. Let awareness drift to your shoulders, your arms, your hands. This kind of meditation for sleep isn't about relaxation. It's about permission. Another soft breath and a pause. The man noticed something else as the minutes passed. When he wasn't trying to fix his sleep, his mind didn't have to defend itself anymore. The thoughts still came, but they felt less sharp, less urgent. They started to slow like cars leaving a busy highway and moving on to quiet side streets. He realized that his mind had been awake because it thought it was still responsible for the day. When that responsibility lifted, even slightly, rest became possible. There's a quiet wisdom in that. Not something to analyze, just something to feel. This is where the power of silence enters. Not silence as emptiness, but silence as reassurance. A space where nothing asks anything of you. In silence, the nervous system hears a different message. You're safe now. Nothing is chasing you. Nothing is required. In a moment, there will be a stretch where no words are spoken. You don't have to listen closely. You can let the silence sit beside you like a calm presence. When sound returns, notice how your body receives it. Perhaps a little softer, a little less alert. That's the body recognizing safety. The man didn't fall asleep instantly that night, but something important shifted. He stopped fighting the night. He stopped treating wakefulness like an enemy. And in that shift, sleep found him more often. Not because he chased it, but because he stopped standing in its way. If you're open to it, there's another gentle layer you can explore now. Sometimes called gentle sleep hypnosis, though it's really just deep rest, guided by tone and imagery. Nothing mysterious, nothing controlling. You can imagine your thoughts becoming heavier as if they're settling to the bottom of a calm lake. Still there, but quiet. The surface smooth. This kind of hypnosis to fall asleep works by letting the mind feel held rather than managed. Breath and ease. The man discovered that when he imagined sinking instead of reaching, his bee responded. His breathing deepened without instruction. His muscles softened without effort. The mind, no longer needed for protection, grew bored with being awake. And boredom, gentle and unforced, became a doorway to deep sleep. If you want, you can try one more very small thing. On your next exhale, imagine setting down one concern, just one. It doesn't have to disappear forever. It can wait until morning. On the next exhale, maybe another. This simple letting go is sometimes described as a way to fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly. Not as a promise, but as an invitation to stop carrying everything at once. Easy breath and release. Notice how the story doesn't need to finish. The details don't need to resolve. The man fades into the background now, and what remains is the feeling. The sense that sleep isn't something to earn. It's something that happens when you feel safe enough to stop trying. The words can slow down. They can become simpler, like footsteps growing farther away. Breathing, softness, stillness. There's nothing left to fix, nothing left to manage. The night is wide enough to hold everything you've been carrying. Silence again, not empty. Protective, quiet enough for rest. Let the body sink. Let the mind loosen. Let sleep arrive when it's ready. Deepening, softening, sleep. There's a quiet moment like this that rarely gets named. A moment where nothing is missing, nothing is late, nothing is asking for your attention. If you're still awake listening in the dark, let this be a small reassurance. Nothing needs to happen now. The night isn't waiting for you to do anything right. It's simply here, holding the hours open wide enough for rest to arrive in its own way. So many days are built around doing well enough, doing more, doing what comes next. Even when the body lies down, the habit of gishing can keep moving like a machine that hasn't yet powered down. That's often why can't sleep feels so frustrating. The mind keeps scanning, checking, preparing, even when there's nowhere left to go. And when insomnia visits, it can feel like another thing that's gone wrong. But tonight, there's nothing to correct. This moment isn't broken. If you want, you can notice how different it feels to hear that nothing is required. No goal to reach, no finish line, just the soft permission to pause. This is where sleep meditation quietly begins, not as a technique, but as a shift in tone. The tone of the night saying you can rest now. A gentle breath in and letting it leave whenever it's ready. You might imagine the world outside your room slowing even more. Traffic thinning, lights dimming, other people drifting into sleep one by one. There's something comforting about knowing that rest is happening everywhere, even if it hasn't reached you yet. It's on its way, not because you called it, but because the night naturally carries things toward deep sleep when effort loosens. If it feels supportive, you can try a very light body scan. Nothing detailed, nothing to complete. Just letting attention float. The top of your head, the back of your neck, your shoulders resting downward instead of holding up the day. Your arms lying heavy, hands open or closed. It doesn't matter. This kind of meditation for sleep isn't about noticing everything. It's about noticing just enough to feel held. Another slow breath and a small pause. There's a common belief that silence is something to fill. During the day, silence can feel uncomfortable, like a gap where something is missing. But at night, silence changes its role. It becomes protective. It becomes a signal that vigilance can soften. This is the power of silence, not empty, not lonely, but spacious and kind. Silence doesn't ask questions. It doesn't hurry answers. It simply stays. In a moment, there will be a stretch of quiet. 10, maybe 15 seconds. You don't have to listen closely. You can let the silence sit beside you the way someone might sit with you when words aren't needed. When sound returns, notice how the body receives it. Perhaps a little less tension, a little less urgency. That's the nervous system, recognizing safety again. Nothing dramatic, just enough. Sometimes the mind stays awake because it thinks rest is a task, something to accomplish, something to get right. But sleep doesn't work that way. It arrives when the system feels safe enough to stop performing. And safety grows when there's no pressure to change how this moment feels. If you want, there's another gentle layer you can explore now often called gentle sleep hypnosis. It isn't mysterious. It isn't controlling. It's simply a guided form of deep relaxation, like letting a familiar song play while drifting off. You can imagine your thoughts becoming less detailed, less sharp, like letters on a page slowly fading as the lights dim. They don't disappear. They just stop demanding attention. This kind of hypnosis to fall asleep works because it reassures the mind that it doesn't have to stay on watch. soft breath in and out. You might picture your body sinking just a little more into the mattress, not sinking away, just settling in. As if the bed is quietly saying, "I've got you." There's no rush here, no countdown. And yet, something is easing. Sometimes people hear phrases like, "fall asleep in 3 minutes," or "fall asleep instantly and feel pressure," as if sleep is another thing to achieve quickly. But tonight, those words can mean something else. They can mean that sleep doesn't always take as long as the mind expects when effort steps aside. If you want, you can try one small experiment. On your next exhale, imagine letting go of the idea of time altogether. No minutes, no hours, just this breath leaving and space opening behind it. Easy breath and release. Nothing needs to happen now. Not sleep, not insight, not calm. Even wakefulness is allowed here. And often when wakefulness feels allowed, it no longer has to stay. The words can become simpler now, shorter, less descriptive, like the night itself. Breathing, softness, stillness. You don't have to watch the mind. You don't have to guide it. It can drift the way clouds drift when there's no wind pushing them. There's another stretch of silence coming, a little longer this time, wide enough for the body to do what it already knows how to do. Notice how the silence feels different now, heavier, warmer, like a blanket settling in. The effort can continue to fade. The sentences can thin out. The night doesn't need commentary. Nothing to hold. Nothing to manage. Nothing to finish. Just resting. Just drifting. Just letting deep sleep arrive when it's ready. And if sleep comes, you can go with it. If it comes slowly, that's okay too. Nothing needs to happen now. Silence, softness, sleep. You don't have to manage your breathing tonight. You don't have to guide it, slow it, or make it deeper. The body already knows how to breathe, even when the mind feels tired, even when can't sleep has been hanging around longer than you wanted. Right now, you can let the body breathe you the way it has every night of your life, quietly, faithfully, without asking for permission. There's something comforting about realizing this. Breathing doesn't wait for the mind to understand. It doesn't ask whether the day went well or whether tomorrow feels uncertain. It just happens. And when you let it happen on its own, something in the nervous system begins to soften. This is where sleep meditation shifts from ding into allowing. A gentle breath comes in, and it leaves when it's ready. If you want, you can rest your attention lightly on the place where the breath moves the most. For some people, it's the chest. For others, the belly. For some, it's barely noticeable at all. Any of that is fine. You're not watching closely. You're just keeping the breath company, like sitting beside someone you trust without needing to talk. As you lie there, you might notice that the body has been holding on all day, holding posture, holding tension, holding responsibility. And now finally horizontal, it's beginning to realize it can let go. That letting go doesn't have to be forced. It can happen in layers slowly in its own rhythm. That's often how deep sleep begins, not with a switch turning off, but with the volume turning down. If it feels supportive, you can try a very gentle body scan, just a few places, nothing detailed. Notice the forehead, the space between the eyebrows. You don't have to relax it, just notice if it's being held. Then let attention drift to the eyes resting in the dark, down to the jaw, which may soften on its own when it realizes it's allowed to. This kind of meditation for sleep isn't about completing a checklist. It's about noticing where the body already knows how to rest. Slow breath in and out. Sometimes people who live with insomnia feel like sleep is something they've lost, like a skill that disappeared. But sleep isn't a skill. It's a natural state the body returns to when it feels safe enough. And safety isn't created by effort. It's created by consistency, by gentleness, by moments like this, where nothing is demanded. There's a quiet shift that happens when you stop trying to breathe a certain way and let the breath move you instead. The chest rises without instruction. The belly falls without effort. The body leads and the mind follows. In a little while, you may notice that thoughts start to feel farther away, less involved. That's not something to chase. It's just something to notice if it happens. If you're open to it, there's another layer you can explore now, often called gentle sleep hypnosis. Despite the name, there's nothing strange or mystical about it. It's simply a deepening of relaxation through imagery and tone. You can imagine each breath gently rocking you the way waves rock a boat that's already floating. You don't have to row. You don't have to steer. The water does the work. This kind of hypnosis to fall asleep works because it gives the mind something simple and repetitive to rest with. Easy breath and a soft pause. As the body breathes, you might feel heavier, not stuck, not trapped, just supported, like gravity has become kinder. The bed holds your weight. The floor holds the bed. The earth holds everything. There's a sense of being carried, even if you can't quite put words to it. This is also where the power of silence begins to show itself. Silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the absence of demand. In silence, the body hears a message it rarely hears during the day. You don't have to respond. You don't have to fix. You don't have to prepare. In a moment, there will be a short stretch of quiet, about 10 to 15 seconds. You don't have to count it. You can let it pass the way breath passes without grabbing onto it. Notice how the body responds to that silence. Perhaps a deeper exhale. Perhaps a small drop in the shoulders. Perhaps nothing obvious at all. All of that is welcome. Silence works whether you notice it or not. Sometimes people hear phrases like fall asleep in 3 minutes or fall asleep instantly and feel pressure as if sleep has become another task to perform quickly. But those phrases can mean something gentler here. They can mean that sleep often arrives faster than expected when effort steps aside. If you want, you can try a small experiment. On the next exhale, imagine the body sinking just 1% deeper into the bed. That's it, no more, just 1%. If another percent comes on its own, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. This isn't a promise. It's an invitation to stop holding yourself up. Soft breath and release. As the body continues to breathe, you words can become less necessary. Descriptions can fade. The mind doesn't have to follow every sentence. It can drift in and out the way it does right before deep sleep takes over. That drifting is welcome here. You don't have to stay with the sound of my voice. You can let it blend into the background. Breathing, being held, letting go. The body knows when to sleep. It's known for a long time. Long before strategies. Long before worries. Long before nights like this. Now, the phrases can soften, shorten, slow down. Let the body breathe you. Let the bed hold you. Let the night do what it knows how to do. Silence again. Wide, supportive, unhurried. No effort, no watching, no fixing. Just sinking, just resting, just drifting, deepening, softening. Sleep. There's a woman awake at 2:17 in the morning. Not wide awake, just awake enough. The kind of awake that comes when the body is tired, but the mind hasn't let go yet. The room is quiet, too quiet. The clock glows softly, numbers bright against the dark, reminding her of time passing even though nothing is happening. She didn't plan to be awake. She went to bed, hoping for sleep, hoping the day would finally release its grip. But here she is, lying still, listening to the faint hum of the house, the distant sound of a car passing somewhere far away. Her phone is face down on the nightstand. She knows better than to reach for it. Still thoughts drift in. work emails not yet answered, money worries that feel heavier at night, a conversation from earlier that keeps replaying slightly different each time. If this feels familiar, you're not alone. Many people meet the night this way, especially those who carry a lot during the day, especially those who are strong for others, especially those who tell themselves they'll rest later. At 2:17 a.m., the mind finally has space to speak, and it takes it. The woman notices her breathing, not because she's trying to change it, just because it's there. Shallow at first, then a little deeper, then shallow again. She isn't doing it right or wrong. She's simply noticing that the body keeps going, even when sleep hasn't arrived. That noticing alone creates a small shift, a tiny pocket of ease. If you want, you can rest here with her for a moment. Feel the bed supporting you, the pillow holding your head. Nothing dramatic, nothing special, just the quiet fact of being held. This is where sleep meditation often begins, not with effort, but with company. A slow breath comes in and leaves when it's ready. The woman has tried many things before, counting breaths, counting hours, telling herself she'll feel terrible tomorrow if she doesn't sleep soon. That pressure only made her more awake. Tonight feels different, not because she's doing something new, but because she's stopped trying to solve the night. She lets her shoulders drop a fraction of an inch. She didn't realize they were lifted until they weren't. Her jaw softens slightly. Her hands rest where they are fingers loose. This gentle noticing becomes a kind of meditation for sleep, not focused, not precise, just present. The body hears that presence as safety, and safety is what opens the door to deep sleep. Another easy breath, and a pause. At 2:17 a.m., loneliness can feel louder than during the day. There's no one to text, no one awake to confirm that this is normal. But in truth, there are countless others awake at this exact moment, lying in their own quiet rooms, wondering why sleep hasn't come yet. The night holds many of these small, unseen moments. Knowing that can soften the edges. You're not behind. You're not failing. You're human. The woman notices the silence again. At first it felt uncomfortable, like something was missing. Now it feels different, wider, less demanding. This is the power of silence, not emptiness, but permission. Silence doesn't rush her. It doesn't ask questions. It doesn't expect answers. It simply stays. In a moment, there will be a stretch of quiet, 10 to 15 seconds, where nothing happens at all. You don't have to listen closely. You can let the silence rest beside you. When sound returns, notice what changed, if anything. Perhaps the breath is slower. Perhaps the body feels heavier. Perhaps nothing feels different at all. all of that is okay. Silence works gently, whether it's noticed or not. The woman lets herself sink a little deeper into the mattress, not forcing, not pushing, just allowing gravity to do what it always does. If you want, you can try this too. On your next exhale, imagine the body becoming just 1% heavier. That's all. No more than that. This small letting go is sometimes described as a way to fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly. Not as a promise, but as a reminder that sleep doesn't always take as long as the mind predicts when effort steps aside. Soft breath and release. Her thoughts begin to blur at the edges. They're still there, but they don't feel as sharp, like words written in pencil instead of ink. She doesn't follow them. She doesn't push them away. She lets them pass like distant headlights on a road she's no longer traveling. This is something like gentle sleep hypnosis, though it feels more like being carried than guided. Nothing mystical, just deepening relaxation. The mind realizes it doesn't have to stay alert to protect anything right now. The house makes its quiet nighttime sounds, pipes settling, the refrigerator humming, ordinary noises that somehow feel reassuring, proof that things are still working without her attention. She isn't responsible for holding the world together at 2:17 a.m. The world is fine without her vigilance. If you want, you can let your breathing become background music instead of something to monitor. In, out. No counting, no correcting, just rhythm. The body knows this rhythm well. It's been practicing it since before you were born. The woman doesn't notice the exact moment when wakefulness loosens its grip. There's no clear line, just a gradual softening, a drifting. The sense that staying awake is no longer necessary. That's often how deep sleep arrives, not announced, not earned, but quietly, when resistance fades. Now, the words can become fewer, less detailed. The story doesn't need to continue. It's done its work simply by being told. Breathing, stillness, being held. Another stretch of silence arrives longer this time, wide enough to disappear into. No need to follow the sound of my voice anymore. It can fade into the background. You can fade too. The body rests. The mind loosens. The night holds everything gently. And sleep, when it comes, can take you with it. There's a point in the night when effort quietly runs out. Not in a dramatic way, just a soft recognition that holding everything up is tiring and no longer necessary. If you're listening right now, this can be that point. Not because something special happens, but because nothing special is required. The words sleep hypnosis can sound unfamiliar, even a little strange. But what's happening here is very simple. It's the same thing that happens when you listen to a familiar voice or a story you don't have to follow closely. The body settles. The mind loosens its grip. Awareness drifts without being pushed. This kind of sleep meditation isn't about control. It's about letting the nervous system feel safe enough to rest. If you want, you can notice the weight of your body again, how it meets the bed, the way gravity holds you without effort. Your breathing continues on its own, quiet and steady. You don't have to help it. You don't have to watch it. You can simply allow the rhythm to carry you. A slow breath arrives and leaves when it's ready. As the body grows more comfortable, attention can begin to narrow in a pleasant way. Not sharp, not focused, just less scattered. Like the edges of the room fading as the lights dim. Thoughts don't have to stop. They can become softer, less detailed, less interesting. That softening is often the first sign that deep sleep is closer than it feels. If it feels supportive, you can try a gentle body scan now. Very light, very brief. Notice the back of your head resting, the curve of your neck, your shoulders melting slightly downward, your chest rising and falling without instruction, your legs heavy supported, no tension required. This meditation for sleep isn't about covering every part of the body. It's about reminding the system that it's being held from many directions at once. Another easy breath and a pause. There's nothing mysterious happening here. No hidden messages, no loss of control. This gentle sleep hypnosis works because the mind responds to tone, rhythm, and safety. When the tone is calm, the rhythm is slow, and safety is present, the mind no longer has to stay alert. It can rest alongside the body instead of standing guard. You might imagine yourself floating or sinking, or simply staying exactly where you are while everything else settles around you. Some people picture warm water. Some picture clouds. Some picture nothing at all. Any of these are fine. The image doesn't matter. What matters is the sense of being supported without effort. As this continues, you may notice small changes. The jaw loosening, the space behind the eyes growing softer, breathing becoming deeper or slower without anyone directing it. These shifts don't require attention. They can happen quietly in the background, like the body taking care of itself. In a little while, you might feel that familiar drifting sensation. Not fully asleep, not fully awake. That place in between where time feels less solid. That's often where hypnosis to fall asleep blends naturally into rest. Nothing to hold on to. Nothing to figure out. Just drifting. If you want, you can try 1 very small experiment now. On the next exhale, imagine the body becoming just a touch heavier, not sinking away, just settling in. 1%. That's enough. If another percent follows, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. Sometimes this gentle settling is described as a way to fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly, not as a promise, but as a reminder that sleep can arrive sooner than expected when effort steps aside. Soft breath and release. There's also something important happening beneath the words. A growing quiet, a sense that nothing is being demanded. This is the power of silence. Silence doesn't rush you. It doesn't ask questions. It doesn't evaluate progress. It simply makes room. And in that room, the nervous system hears a message it rarely hears during the day. You're safe enough to stop. In a moment, there will be a stretch of silence. 10, maybe 15 seconds. You don't have to listen for it. You can let it arrive and pass on its own. Notice how the body responds to that quiet. Perhaps a longer exhale. Perhaps a deeper sense of weight. Perhaps nothing obvious at all. All of that is welcome. Silence works gently, even when it isn't noticed. As the quiet lingers, the words can begin to feel less important. They don't have to be followed. They don't have to be remembered. They can fade into the background, like a familiar sound you stop noticing as you drift toward deep sleep. The mind doesn't have to understand what's happening. The body already does. It recognizes this slowing, this safety, this absence of demand. Now, the sentences can soften. Shorter, simpler, breathing, settling, drifting. There's nothing to manage, nothing to finish, nothing to watch. Another stretch of silence opens wider this time. You don't have to stay with the sound of my voice. You can let it fade. You can fade too. The body rests. The mind loosens. The night carries you gently. And when sleep comes, it can take you with it quietly, easily into deep sleep. There's a quiet misunderstanding many people carry into the night. That sleep is something you do, something you figure out, something you finally get right after enough effort. But if you're awake right now, you may have already noticed how that approach only keeps the mind alert. Trying to sleep often does the opposite of rest. Sleep usually arrives the way a cat enters a room. Not when it's called, not when it's watched. It comes when the space feels calm enough, familiar enough, safe enough. And the moment you stop tracking it, it's already there. That's how deep sleep tends to come, quietly, from the side, without announcing itself. If you want, you can let that idea settle for a moment, that nothing has gone wrong tonight. Your body hasn't forgotten how to sleep. It's simply waiting for the signal that it doesn't have to stay alert anymore. That signal isn't effort, it's permission. You might notice how your breathing is already doing its own work. No planning, no instruction, in and out. There's a rhythm there that has existed long before this night. That rhythm is one of the reasons sleep meditation works at all. It reminds the nervous system of something it already knows. If it feels okay, you can try a very gentle body scan now. Nothing detailed, nothing to complete. Just noticing where the body is already resting. The back of your head, your shoulders, the weight of your hips, your legs supported by the bed. This kind of meditation for sleep isn't about relaxing every muscle. It's about discovering which parts no longer need attention. One soft breath and a small release. There's a moment many people miss right before sleep. Thoughts don't disappear. They simply lose their grip. They become quieter, less urgent, almost like background noise from another room. If you're still thinking, that doesn't mean sleep is far away. It often means it's close enough that the mind is loosening its control. Somewhere in you, there's an intelligence that knows how to cross that threshold. You don't have to coach it. You don't have to watch for signs. You can let it work in the background while attention drifts. This is where gentle sleep hypnosis blends naturally into rest. Not as something mysterious, just as a soft narrowing of awareness. Less wide, more inward. If you want, you can imagine the night itself doing the work. Darkness outside the window. Streets quieter now. Lights dimmed. Even the world seems to be breathing slower. Your body notices these cues whether you think about them or not. That's how hypnosis to fall asleep often feels. Not like being led, more like being allowed. You might like to try a simple experiment, nothing dramatic. On the next exhale, let the shoulders drop a fraction of an inch. Not forcing, just allowing. If another part of the body follows, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. Sometimes people talk about fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly, not as a guarantee, but as a reminder that sleep doesn't require a long process once resistance fades. Another breath and easing. There's also something else at work here, something quieter than technique. Silence. Not the absence of sound, but the absence of demand. The power of silence is that it tells the nervous system there's nothing left to solve, no response required, no performance expected. In a moment, there will be a stretch of silence. You don't have to fill it. You don't have to wait for it to end. You can let it be exactly what it is. Notice what happens when nothing is asked of you. The body often responds first. A deeper exhale, a sense of heaviness, or simply less tension than before. Silence works even when it goes unnoticed. As this continues, words can become softer, less important. They can drift in and out like distant sounds. Your only job, if you could call it that, is to let that happen. Or not even that. You can simply rest. Another small practice if you want. Let attention rest behind the eyes, not focusing, just resting there. Many people notice that when this space softens, the rest of the body follows. This is often where deep sleep begins to take over. Not suddenly, but steadily, like sinking into warm water without a splash. The night doesn't rush. Your body doesn't rush. Nothing here is on a schedule. Sleep comes when the system feels safe enough to let go. And safety isn't something you force. It's something you allow. Soon the sentences can become simpler, shorter, breathing, settling, drifting. You may not notice the exact moment sleep arrives. Most people don't. One moment you're listening, the next you're gone. That's how sleep actually comes. Now there's space again, wide, quiet. Another long stretch of silence opens. You don't have to stay with the sound of my voice. You can let it fade into the background. The body already knows what to do. Nothing to manage. Nothing to hold. Just resting. Just sinking. And when sleep takes you, it can carry you all the way into deep sleep, softly, naturally, without effort. There are sounds that ask for attention, and there are sounds that hold you without asking for anything at all. At night, the world is full of the second kind. They don't demand meaning. They don't need interpretation. They simply exist, steady and patient, like a hand resting nearby. Right now, you might notice a few of them. The soft hum of a fan, the distant rhythm of traffic far away, the quiet movement of air in the room, even the subtle sound of your own breathing. These sounds don't interrupt rest. They create it. They form a gentle container where sleep meditation can continue without effort. You don't have to listen closely. You don't have to identify anything. If you want, you can let sounds come to you instead of reaching for them. Let them arrive, stay for a moment, and fade on their own. Like you don't have to ride, just water moving past. If can't sleep has been part of your night, sound can feel surprisingly comforting. It gives the mind something neutral to rest against. not a problem, not a story, just texture. And texture helps the nervous system settle often without you noticing how. If it feels supportive, you can try a small practice now. A very gentle body scan paired with sound. Let your attention rest on your feet for a moment. Not to relax them, just to notice they're there. Then let attention drift up to your calves, your thighs, your hips resting into the bed. Each place doesn't need to change. It just gets acknowledged. This kind of meditation for sleep works quietly like background music you don't have to follow. A slow breath in and out. As attention drifts, sounds can become softer, less distinct. Not because they're disappearing, but because the mind is no longer trying to organize them. This is often how deep sleep begins to approach, not with silence at first, but with sounds losing their edges. There's a reason many people fall asleep more easily with gentle background noise. Rain, wind, low tones. They signal continuity. Nothing sudden, nothing urgent. The body hears that as safety. And safety is the language sleep understands best. If you want, you can imagine the sounds around you forming a soft boundary, like a circle. Inside the circle, nothing is expected of you. No decisions, no responses, no problem solving. Just rest. Outside the circle, the world can keep moving without you. This is also where gentle sleep hypnosis blends naturally into the night. Not through suggestion, but through repetition and steadiness. When sound stays consistent, the mind stops scanning for change. It stops asking, "What's next?" And when that question fades, sleep finds its opening. This kind of hypnosis to fall asleep doesn't feel like being guided. It feels like being allowed. If it feels okay, you can try another small experiment. On your next exhale, let your attention widen. Instead of focusing on one sound, let all sounds blend together. No foreground, no background. Just a single, soft field of sound. Some people notice that when sounds blend, thoughts do too. They lose their sharp edges. They stop asking to be followed. Easy breath and a pause. Sometimes people talk about fall asleep in 3 minutes or fall asleep instantly, and the mind hears pressure, a deadline, a performance. But sound works differently. It doesn't hurry you. It doesn't promise anything. It simply stays steady long enough for effort to dissolve. And when effort dissolves, sleep often arrives sooner than expected. You might notice your breathing syncing gently with the environment. In, out, like everything is moving together now. The body doesn't need instructions. It recognizes this rhythm instinctively. It's been responding to rhythms since before language. There's another layer beneath sound, the space between sounds. The quiet moments where nothing happens. This is where the power of silence lives, not as emptiness, but as rest. Silence doesn't erase sound. It holds it. It gives it room to fade naturally. In a moment, there will be a stretch of silence, 10 to 15 seconds, where nothing is added. You don't have to listen for it. You can let it arrive and pass like a breath you didn't plan. Notice what the body does in that quiet. Often, it softens first, shoulders dropping slightly, jaw loosening, breathing slowing without instruction. Silence doesn't need your attention to work. It does its work anyway. As sound returns, it may feel farther away, less personal, more like a gentle backdrop than something to track. This is a sign that attention is turning inward, where deep sleep waits patiently. If you want, you can rest your attention one last time on the feeling of being supported. The mattress beneath you, the pillow under your head, the air around your body. Sounds can float around all of that, holding you in place without effort. This is the opposite of vigilance. This is rest. Now the words can begin to thin out. They don't have to carry meaning anymore. They can blend into the same field as the sounds. Just texture, just rhythm, breathing, listening, letting go. There's no need to stay with the sound of my voice. You can let it drift into the background. You can drift too. Another stretch of quiet opens. Longer this time. Wide enough to disappear into. No effort, no tracking, no holding. Just sound, and the space around sound, and then less of both. As everything softens, sleep can come the way it always does. Unannounced, unforced, gently carrying you down into deep sleep. Fall asleep in a few minutes. There's a gentle window that opens late at night, not marked by the clock, not announced by a feeling. Just a quiet moment when the body is already closer to sleep than the mind realizes. If you're here now, listening, that window may already be open. Falling asleep doesn't usually happen all at once. It happens when the last bit of effort fades, when the body stops waiting for instructions, when the mind no longer tries to predict how long this will take. This is why sleep meditation works best when it feels like nothing much is happening at all. You don't have to try to fall asleep in a few minutes. You don't have to track time. You can simply rest in the idea that sleep often comes sooner than expected when nothing stands in its way. That's not a promise, just a possibility that gently exists. If you want, you can begin with something very small. Let your attention rest on the weight of your body, not the shape, not the position, just the weight. The way gravity holds you without asking anything back. The bed carries you. The floor carries the bed. The earth carries everything. This quiet stacking of support is often where deep sleep starts to feel closer. You might notice areas that are still holding on: the jaw, the forehead, the hands. You don't have to relax them. Just noticing is enough. When something is noticed without pressure, it often softens on its own. This kind of meditation for sleep isn't active. It's receptive. A slow breath in and letting it go. If it feels okay, you can try a very gentle body scan now. Just 3 places: the forehead, the shoulders, the legs. That's all. Notice each place, then let attention move on without fixing anything. The body understands this language. It hears you're allowed to rest now. Another easy breath and a pause. There's a common moment right before sleep where thoughts lose their storyline. They still appear, but they don't connect, like pages out of order. If that's happening even slightly, it's a sign that the body is taking the lead. You don't have to follow the thoughts anywhere. You can let them pass like dim shapes in the dark. If you want, there's another layer you can explore now often, called gentle sleep hypnosis. Despite the name, it's nothing unusual. It's simply the experience of attention narrowing without effort. You can imagine the space around you growing softer, less defined. Edges blur, details fade. The room doesn't disappear. It just becomes less interesting. This is how hypnosis to fall asleep often feels like the mind choosing rest over analysis. You may notice breathing becoming slower, or deeper, or quieter. You don't have to watch it. The body knows what rhythm it needs. Your only role is to let it happen. Sometimes people hear phrases like fall asleep in 3 minutes, or fall asleep instantly and feel pressure, as if sleep has turned into a race. But here, those words can mean something else. They can mean that once the body feels safe enough, sleep doesn't always take long. It doesn't need to be built piece by piece. It can arrive all at once the moment effort steps aside. If you want to try a small experiment, you can do this. On the next exhale, imagine setting something down. Not a thing, not a thought, just the sense of holding, as if your hands were clenched around nothing and now they open. That opening doesn't need to last. Even a moment is enough. Soft breath and release. There's also something else happening now. A widening quiet. A sense that the night isn't asking for anything. This is the power of silence. Silence doesn't demand attention. It doesn't require response. It simply creates space for the nervous system to stand down. In a moment, there will be a stretch of silence, 10 to 15 seconds. You don't have to count it. You don't have to listen closely. You can let it pass through you the way breath does. Notice how the body responds to that pause. Often it softens before the mind notices. Shoulders drop slightly. The face smooths out. The breath deepens without instruction. Silence does this quietly without asking permission. As sound returns, it may feel farther away, less personal, like something happening at a distance. This distance is gentle. It's the mind beginning to drift inward, where deep sleep waits. You don't have to stay with the sound of my voice now. You can let it fade in and out. You can miss whole sentences. That's not a problem. That's often how sleep arrives. The words can become simpler now, shorter, less detailed. Breathing, settling, drifting. There's no need to check if sleep is coming. No need to monitor the process. The body already knows what to do once it feels safe enough. Another stretch of silence opens, longer this time, to disappear into. Nothing to manage, nothing to finish, nothing to hold, just resting, just sinking. And if sleep takes you now, it can happen quietly, naturally, without effort, carrying you all the way down into deep sleep. There's nothing new you have to understand now, nothing to remember, nothing to follow closely. This part of the night is designed to feel the same each time it passes, like gentle waves that keep returning to the shore. If you drift in and out, that's perfect. If you miss words, that's perfect too. This is a space meant to repeat softly so the body can rest without being surprised. Right now, you're allowed to stop tracking where you are in the night. Time doesn't need to be measured here. The body already knows how long to sleep. The mind can let go of counting, checking, wondering. This is where sleep meditation becomes background rather than activity. A steady presence that stays even when attention fades. If you want, you can notice your breathing again, not changing it, not deepening it, just noticing that it continues quiet and reliable. The body breathes whether you pay attention or not. That's important. It means rest doesn't depend on effort. A gentle inhale and a natural exhale. You may notice the weight of your body spreading out more evenly now. Less tension gathered in one place. More contact with the bed. The shoulders don't have to hold the day anymore. The jaw doesn't have to prepare words. The hands don't have to grip anything. This slow unwinding is part of deep sleep finding its way in. If it feels supportive, you can allow a very soft body scan to repeat in the background. No need to do it actively. just letting attention drift. Forehead, eyes, neck, shoulders, arms, hands. Then nothing for a while. The scan doesn't need to finish. It can fade halfway through. This kind of meditation for sleep works even when it's incomplete. Slow breath and rest. Sometimes the mind wonders if it's doing this right. That question can float by without an answer. There's no right way to sleep. There's only the way the body naturally returns to rest when it feels safe enough. And safety is already present here. Nothing is being asked of you. This is also where gentle sleep hypnosis becomes almost invisible. There's no clear moment where it starts or stops. It's simply the experience of awareness narrowing on its own. Less interest in thoughts, less interest in sound, more interest in sinking, drifting, letting go. Hypnosis to fall asleep feels like being carried rather than guided. If you're still awake enough to hear this, you might notice thoughts becoming less organized. Not problems to solve, just fragments, images, half sentences. That's a natural sign that the mind is loosening its grip. You don't have to follow any of it. You can let it all pass like clouds moving through a dark sky. There's a rhythm here that can repeat for a long time. Breathing, soft awareness, long pauses. This loop is meant to feel familiar, even boring in a comforting way. The nervous system relaxes when nothing new is demanded, when nothing suddenly changes. If you want, you can try a small experiment once more. On the next exhale, imagine setting down the last thing you were holding on to. Not a thought, not a worry, just the sense of holding itself. As if your hands open even though they were empty. This gesture doesn't need to last. Even a moment is enough. Some people describe this as how they fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly, not because of speed, but because resistance fades all at once. Soft breath and release. There's a deeper quiet underneath all of this. A quiet that doesn't depend on silence in the room. This is the power of silence, the absence of demand. No questions, no expectations, no next step. In that kind of silence, the nervous system finally stands down. In a moment, there will be another stretch of quiet, 10 to 15 seconds. You don't have to notice when it begins or ends. You can let it pass through you, like a wave that doesn't need to be named. As the quiet lingers, the body often sinks further. Muscles soften, breathing deepens, or becomes barely noticeable. Awareness thins out. This is exactly what it's meant to do. Nothing is missing. Nothing is late. This loop can continue like this for a long time. Words appearing, words fading, silence widening, then words again, not to wake you, just to keep the space held while you sleep. You don't have to stay with the sound of my voice. You can drift away completely, and if you wake briefly later, the same tone will still be here. Familiar, unchanging, safe. The sentences can become simpler now. They don't need detail. Breathing, sinking, resting. There's no need to check if you're asleep yet. Sleep doesn't arrive under observation. It arrives when observation stops mattering. Another long pause opens, wide, soft. You can let go of listening. You can let go of thinking. You can let go of effort. The body knows how to sleep for hours at a time. It's done this before. Many nights, many years. That memory is still there. This space can repeat. Breathing, quiet, drifting. No beginning, no ending. Just rest flowing into more rest. And as everything continues to soften, you can sink completely naturally, without effort held by the night, carried gently into deep sleep. There's a gentle truth the night carries one that rarely gets spoken out loud. There is nothing left to finish now, nothing to complete, nothing to improve, nothing waiting for your attention. If you're still listening, you don't have to listen closely. If you're drifting, that's already enough. This moment doesn't ask for awareness. It allows it to fade. So many days are built around finishing. Finishing tasks, finishing conversations, finishing plans that never really end. And the body learns that habit so well that even at night, it keeps reaching for closure. But sleep doesn't come from finishing. It comes from stopping the search for an ending. Right now, you're allowed to rest in something unfinished. The day can remain open. Thoughts can remain unresolved. Nothing bad happens when they do. If you want, you can notice your breathing again, not as something to focus on, just as proof that the body continues without supervision. In and out, no effort, no correction. Breathing like this is one of the quiet foundations of sleep meditation, reminding the nervous system that it doesn't need instructions to settle. You might notice the weight of your body more clearly now, not heavy in a stuck way, heavy in a supported way. The bed is doing its job. You don't have to help it. Your shoulders can rest where they are. Your jaw doesn't have to hold words anymore. This gentle noticing becomes a kind of meditation for sleep, not something you perform, but something that happens while you let go. A soft breath and a pause. If it feels comforting, you can allow a very light body scan to pass through. Just 3 places: the forehead, the chest, the legs. Notice each one, then move on without checking back. The scan doesn't need to be completed. Incomplete is perfect here. The body understands this language better than instructions. It hears permission. There's a quiet moment when the mind realizes it doesn't have to understand anything else tonight. No insight is required. No lesson needs to land. Even calm doesn't have to arrive. Sleep often comes when the mind stops asking for results. If you want, you can imagine setting down the idea of progress, not pushing it away, just letting it rest beside you, like a bag you've been carrying all day now, placed gently on the floor. This is where gentle sleep hypnosis feels most natural, not as guidance, but as release. Awareness narrows on its own when there's nothing left to hold. Some people notice thoughts becoming quieter here. Others notice the body sinking deeper. Some notice nothing at all. All of these are signs that deep sleep is close, even if it doesn't arrive right away. Sleep doesn't rush to meet expectations. It waits until expectations loosen. If it feels okay, you can try one more small experiment. On the next exhale, imagine opening your hands, even if they're already open. Just the feeling of opening. This simple gesture can be enough to remind the body that it doesn't need to grip anything anymore. Some people describe this as how they fall asleep in 3 minutes, or even fall asleep instantly, not because of speed, but because the final layer of effort dissolves. Soft breath and release. There's a deeper quiet now, underneath words, underneath breath. A quiet that doesn't depend on silence in the room. This is the power of silence, the absence of demand. Silence doesn't ask you to be calm. It doesn't ask you to sleep. It simply removes the pressure to respond. In a moment, there will be a stretch of quiet, 10 to 15 seconds where nothing is added. You don't have to wait for it. You can let it arrive and pass without noticing the edges. Notice how the body responds to that space. Often, it softens first. A longer exhale, a sense of melting. Silence works quietly, even when the mind is no longer tracking anything. As sound returns, it may feel distant, less personal, like something happening far away. That distance is gentle. It's the mind stepping back from the front of the stage, allowing the body to take over. There's nothing left to practice now. Nothing left to remember. The night doesn't require participation. It carries on whether you're watching or not. Words can begin to thin out. They don't need meaning anymore. They can fade like lights in a house going dark one by one. Breathing, settling, letting go. If you're still awake, you're allowed to be. If sleep arrives, you're allowed to follow it. There's no correct outcome here. Another quiet opens, longer this time, wide enough to disappear into. You don't have to stay with the sound of my voice. You can let it drift. You can drift too. The body already knows how to sleep. It learned long before words. That knowledge hasn't gone anywhere. Nothing to finish, nothing to complete, nothing to carry, just resting, just sinking. And as everything continues to soften, you can let yourself fade naturally without effort, without awareness, held gently by the night slipping quietly into deep sleep.